Hey everyone, this is Paul with Origami Air, and I'm going to do a camera training around the concept of framing. So when you're a camera person, you need to start practicing all of the techniques that professional photographers practice. And so one of the things that I want to show you today, point out to you, is something called the rule of thirds. And so what that means is there's a top, a middle, and a bottom, a left, center, and right. And what these are is these are sort of framing tools for you to use on how to compose interesting images. In photography, we call this weight. So this is a centered shot where the main point of interest is nice and in the center. And then on the left and the right side, we have this sort of darkness that frames it up nicely. And then you even see this symmetry in how the light bleeds out to the sides. And so what this is helping you do is think about how to frame your shot. You can see that this is more of a square image as a whole. It's not the 16 by 9, which we're used to working in video, but this is showing you how to use these grid lines to compose a shot. And this can be used across the board anytime you're photographing or filming. It's called the rule of thirds. So let's check out a couple examples and I'll talk about them. So here's another one. This is just a cheetah out in the middle of nowhere, and what the person has done is put them on the left third and then had the chin kind of resting on this T point here. Now this is a really interesting framing. There's a lot of empty negative space here. The cheetah is looking this way, so this photograph has a really nice weight. It's helping you put the frame around what you are focusing on in interest, and it's just very pleasing to the eye. Again, here's another where they put something on the left side, and wherever these points meet, wherever the grid lines meet, is actually a point of interest. So this photographer decided to have the point of interest be the kiss. There's also this nice sort of curved line of their bodies that's complemented by sort of the straightness of the beach. So again, here's a 9 grid or rule of thirds where you're using these grid points to help frame your shot. All right, here's another one. So this is very typical. What you'll see is a lot of people will put the horizon line on the bottom third. And what that does is it really accentuates the sky, causes it to be this sort of massive, wonderful view. And really, like, if you had decided to make the horizon line this upper third, then the conversation is much more about the grass here. But this person has decided to make the sky the focus of the conversation. And then we see at that connecting point is this cool little, like, castle church. And again, this is a very good looking image, and it's just following the rule of thirds. Again, so this is the opposite of what we just saw. This is where we put the horizon line up on the upper third, and this shot's much more about the water, this cool texture. And as a storyteller, you're really telling the audience that there's something going on in the water here. Look here. Whereas the sky in this is not the star. And again, we have this nice sort of accent point over here on the left. All right. So this is a person, and this is something that'll be very important as in Metaverse United and Origami Air, we're going to be doing a lot of people. And so what we do is once in a while you want to frame someone, but it's always nice to also put them on a left or right third. Now, it makes sense to put her on the left here because her shoulders are turned in, and so her weight is going this way. And again, she's positioned, the point is right at her face, so you naturally have your eye drawn to this point. Another really nice thing about this is the vanishing line that you can just sort of see. This is pleasing, making this negative space kind of interesting. All right, so that is the rule of thirds. You can Google this. Spend some time playing with it. Professional film equipment even has these rule of third lines in the frame. So there's one more thing. Oh, here's another one really quick. Again, we have the lower third is the frame that's being sort of lined up with the horizon. The sun's nicely centered in the center box. We have these two sort of symmetrical rocks on either side. This is just a really pleasing shot. And again, the sky up here is filling a lot of the space. And then here's a wolf. Again, you're seeing point of interest, and this is, again, just people using the rule of thirds. This is something that is constantly used. All right, the other thing that's really important about framing when you're going to be working as a camera person is something we call headroom. You don't want a ton of headroom. Now, I know we can get creative and challenge this, but a clean interview when someone's talking has very little headroom. Their top of their head is very close to the edge of the frame. And so this is something that you'll always hear me saying to you if you're on a camera team. This headroom, meaning I want this small space here. We want the person to fill up the frame as much as possible. I have a couple examples of this. Again, here's a little bit more headroom, but again, this is a really nice frame. On the left third, you can tell his chin's like right in that corner point, and just a little bit of headroom. So this is a professional shot. Beautiful lighting. Look at that nice shallow depth of field. This is just textbook solid interview. Again, here's another one. On the left a little, just sort of hugging the left third. And again, headroom. Pay attention to this when we're filming together. I'll call it out. And then here's kind of a final example, bringing everything together. Anytime that we're doing interviews with people and you're covering people in the metaverse talking, just a little bit of headroom, and try and line them up on the left third if they're on the left side, and then if this was flipped and he was looking this way and over here, we put him over that way. So I hope this was helpful. This is framing. Let me know if you have any questions.